Welcome to Witch Weekly, your weekly dose of all things Harry Potter and Potter related. We are done with season 2. It's very, very exciting. The woo you just heard was from Mel, and I'm Marissa. Mel, are you so excited to be done with season 2?
Yeah, it's going to be good to have a bit of a break from our ridiculous recording schedules with 3 podcasts.
Oh yeah, it's been quite the last few months. We've been doing a lot of recording, not just for this, but for the other podcasts that we're part of. So it'll be nice to have a little bit of free time. We don't really know how long we're taking off. We haven't really nailed it down yet, but it'll be for a little bit.
Yeah, just to have a bit of a break.
Yes.
And to plan season 3.
Yes, we already have a few topics in the works that we've discussed. We've mentioned them on the podcast a little bit, but we'll flesh those more out when we get around to planning out season 3 more extensively.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, but this is kind of our wrap-up episode for the season. We're going to go back through the topics that we've talked about before and see if we have anything more to say about them, and also revisit our random ships and Mary Fuck Kills that we've done, because those are always fun to talk about.
Yep. See how we feel about them now with the passage of time.
See if we feel any differently about the ones that we sunk or let sail, as it were.
Yep.
And we do have one email that we will read towards the end of the recording. So, first off, we did mental health to kick off the season. A real uplifting kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah, so we talked about mental health and how there's nothing to really help out people with mental health issues in the wizarding world. They don't have psychiatrists. They don't really have anything. And that's a problem. People need help, even if they do have magic. Magic can't solve everything. We determined.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, we discussed Harry's PTSD, and that, no one was helping him.
No.
There was essentially, I actually feel sorry, Cho reached out to Harry because they did have a mutual trauma, and Harry just turned around going, oh yeah, I spoke to Ron and Hermione. Yeah. And it's like, but clearly the issue's not fixed. Maybe, there's a better way to fix this.
Yeah, and I guess I understand, but it was her ex-boyfriend, so she wanted to talk about it, but he just felt awkward about the whole thing that he survived and Cedric didn't. So that's got to be weird for him.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, essentially the only person who wanted to talk to him about the mental trauma was Cho. Nobody else really thought about that.
Yeah, and I do feel bad for Cho. She had a really rough time of it, but I don't know. The whole relationship between Harry and Cho
was a disaster.
Wasn't really built on anything substantial. They both liked Quidditch, and they had Cedric in common, and he's dead. So that's about all they got.
Exactly. Yeah, I totally agree. But what I just mean is the only person willing to talk about the trauma was her. Yeah. Regardless of their relationship.
Yeah.
She was the only person in the entire wizarding world who thought maybe someone should talk about this.
Yeah, she was like, don't you need to talk about it? I need to talk about it. And he was like, well, I did talk about it already with 2 people, and that's about it.
Yeah. And even then, he was very cagey with Ron and Hermione.
Yeah, but, he didn't handle it well, but how can you learn to handle your mental issues well if you don't have anybody to go to about them?
An adult to go to about them, specifically.
Yeah.
Or a trained professional, which the wizarding world lacks.
Yes, they do need to work on that, for sure.
Yeah, it's like, that's kind of important, guys.
It's kind of a big deal. And our random ship for that episode was Ernie Macmillan and Harry.
That's right.
Yeah, it was.
I think I sunk it, didn't I?
Yeah, we sunk it because even though Harry's a really good listener, he can't handle Ernie's going on and on and on about himself.
Yeah.
We decided that wasn't going to work out for them. And in the second episode of the season, we moved on to entertainment in the wizarding world.
Oh, that was a good episode.
Yeah, it was. We talked about the the sport, the only sport that there really is in the Wizarding World, and how you could go and see a couple of different artists, and we weren't really sure, aside from that, what you could really do.
Well, there was wizarding chess, exploding snap.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, not many things outside the home.
Right, and we did question if you could copyright thoughts. Remember that? How we were like, if someone goes and sees a play movies. Or a movie and then they sell their memories to somebody, is that copyright infringement?
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Still wondering that.
And we did have a couple people write in about the entertainment that they would look for, and someone did say magic shows, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was so clever. I've been trying to remember who said that as well.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have to dive through the emails and find it.
I can pull it up real quick. It was Tanya.
Yeah, good old Tanya. That was a really good idea.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so we had that, and yeah, we talked about the copywriting of the thoughts was the most interesting thing I think that was brought up in that episode, because it kind of like, well, can you? Because
yeah, it's quite the legal dilemma.
Right, because you own your own thoughts, and if you want to sell those thoughts, that's one thing, but your thoughts and your memories of a show would
that is copyrighted.
Yeah, it's very strange. I'm not sure we ever came to a consensus on what that would be.
No, we definitely didn't. We just sort of went, huh, and left it.
Yeah. And our random ship for that episode was Aberforth Dumbledore and Madame Maxime.
Yep, that was random.
Yeah.
That is the concept, I suppose.
I mean, yes. That's the concept of a random ship. And we let that one sail, actually.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah,
must have thought of something really good.
The whole concept was that Maxime and Hagrid were having a drink at the Hogshead, and he left to go take care of a dragon. And then Aberforth and her were complaining about the people in their life that let them down.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, they should definitely get together.
They should definitely do some things.
Yeah.
So, we moved on to episode 3, discussing the Ministry of Magic, because we couldn't really tell who was running things in this place.
Yeah, it's very confusing.
Yeah, we didn't know how they came to elect officials, how they got laws into motion, because we don't really get a lot of that explained to us. We just kind of get, hey, here's this governing body, and we don't really want to tell you how it comes and works and stuff.
Yeah, it's just like, yes, don't question it, which is a very bad way to run a government.
Yeah, but also, we know Harry doesn't pay a lot of attention, and since we're getting the books from his point of view, there could be more explained, we just don't hear about it.
That's a very good point.
Yes.
Harry just doesn't care.
Well, Harry's about as observant as a brick wall, so...
Yeah, that's true.
So...
Someone probably told him. Hermione probably explained all of this.
Oh, yeah, probably.
And he, as a narrator, just forgot to tell us.
You know what would be interesting? If Hermione taught a civics class at Hogwarts at some point. She's like, here's how our government works, and here are the problems.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hermione would be good at that.
Our random ship for that episode, we had the stipulation that they had to work at the Ministry of Magic, and it was Dolores Umbridge and Nymphadora Tonks. And we sunk it real quick.
I bet we did.
Yeah. We didn't want things to happen. There was roofies involved, and it was all very uncomfortable.
Yeah, we just needed to quickly finish that off.
Yep,
and say no.
It doesn't happen. You can't let it happen.
Nope.
And then, episode 4, we talked about good old Dumbles. Albus Dumbledore.
Dumbles.
Yeah, Dumbles. Some of the issues we have with the different Dumbledores that we see, how Gambon kind of did it differently.
Took the role and made it his own.
He did. Yeah, but not everybody appreciates that. I think we came to the consensus that hashtag not my Dumbledore. But, and we discussed what we hope for with moving forward with having Jude Law play a younger Dumbledore and some of the issues that we thought might be forthcoming with that.
Yeah, well, since then we've gotten the full trailer, and I'm pretty confident in him now.
Yeah.
After seeing the full trailer.
Yeah, we'll have to see. He does have that twinkle in his eye. We did talk about that. So I think that's at least something. We'll have to wait and see what comes when the actual movie comes out. If we get any more trailers, too, that might shed some more light
Influence
on it.
us. Yeah.
And so, yeah, we talked a lot about him and whether or not he was a good guy or a bad guy and what you thought of his quote-unquote manipulation of Harry, because he did kind of manipulate the kid.
Just kind of?
I mean, kind of. Just a little bit. And our random ship for that episode was Albus Dumbledore and Remus Lupin. And we disagreed about whether we wanted it. Well, we disagreed about whether or not we wanted it to sail or sink. There's a disagreement.
There you go.
I think I was all about letting it sail, and you wanted it to sink.
That's right, because I was like, it's a teacher and a student still. Even if it is years later.
Well, it was after Lupin got, resigned from his post. Was what I came up with. We moved on next to nutrition and exercise. It was basically like
going serious again.
What?
Going serious again?
Yes, always going to the serious topics. We just basically talked about, can a professor make you eat your vegetables?
Yes, that was a great title.
Yeah, they have all this heavy food, and they walk upstairs, and that's about it. And we also didn't... Go ahead.
Giving too much information, I'd be sick there all the time. My body wouldn't handle that.
Oh, yeah. It's too much.
Or maybe it would adapt, but for a while I'd be very sick.
Oh, it's a lot of sugar and a lot of grease and a lot of stuff that you don't need.
Exactly. I had a couple of fried things last weekend at drinks with someone, and I was so sick. It was disgusting and so bad and gross. And I'm now reflecting on the Hogwarts diet. I'm like, no.
And we talked about the fact that all they really do is walk upstairs, and that's about all of the exercise they have. And we didn't understand how Quidditch was tiring.
Well, I can get out. Sorry, we didn't think about how it was fitness based.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I can get how it'd be tiring, but it's definitely not like going to increase your fitness.
Yeah.
You're sitting on a broom.
Yeah.
It's like saying a race car driver.
I think some race car drivers would give you all kinds of stats about how it's physically exhausting, but that's not what we're here to discuss.
I would think more mentally exhausting.
Yeah.
To be focused on, your corners and everything.
Yeah, turning left all the time.
Having been in a rally car when I was doing races, it just seemed like so much focus.
Ooh.
So,
that's fun.
Yeah, my dad and he used to be part of a car club, and we went out to a racetrack one day, and he let me in his car to do a lap.
That's cool.
Obviously, he drove. I just sat there.
Oh, well, that's still cool, though.
I was too young
to drive, yeah. And our random ship for that episode was Snape and Luna. And we sunk it.
Yeah, that would have been awkward.
He said that he would keep her after class to work on her potion because she didn't do it correctly. And then you said, and nothing can happen because they're a student and a teacher. So you sunk it.
It's Luna.
Mm-hmm, I understand.
I must protect her.
Yeah, she is all that is right with the world, and I will protect her innocence with my life.
She is the Willow of Harry Potter.
Yes, she is. Oh, so true. So the next episode was all about Mel's love of her life. It was Sirius Black.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Always R.I.P. Yeah, we talked a lot about Sirius and his family and how he's related to basically everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was a lot of talk of the Black family tree and the things he had to go through and all that good stuff, and how he spent... How many years was he in Azkaban, Mel?
12 years in Azkaban.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it had ever been mentioned how long he was in there for.
Yeah. It's like, it's left a bit vague.
Yeah, they don't really expand on it very much. They're just like, he spent a few years in there, not really sure exactly how many. So yeah, we talked about a little bit about him being incarcerated and why he was, and when he got out, what he did and all that stuff, and how he eventually died. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
So we had a stipulation on the random ships for that episode that they had to be during the Marauders era. And it ended up being Sirius, because of course Mel would pick Sirius, and Marlene McKinnon.
It was his episode.
Of course it was. I understand. I knew you were going to pick him, so I had to pick somebody else. And you
yes, we'll get to the time we picked the same person later.
Oh yeah, it's very exciting. And you did let that one sail. You said that you know, they would both survive because unfortunately both of them died in the series, or Marlene died before the series. But you said that they would both survive and have lots of babies and be very, very happy together.
Yes.
So after that, we went on to talk about all of the wizarding schools that we know about. We were told that there are 11, but we only had information on, I think, 7 of them.
Yeah, something like that.
And we went through each one of them that are on Pottermore and kind of talked about the good, the bad, and the ugly of it, and what you would be focused more on if you were to go there. And we both ended up picking that we would want to go to Ouagadougou in Africa, because they focus on wandless magic and turning into animagi.
Yes, definitely. I stand by that.
And you said you wanted to do an exchange program with the Japanese school, because you were originally going to do the Japanese school, but changed your mind at the last minute and copied me.
Yep, I'm a follower.
But there are worse people to follow than me, I'm sure.
I'm sure. Yeah, you haven't led me astray yet.
I mean,
yet. ...
And so we did a Marry, Fuck, Kill for that episode. And we had Cedric Diggory, Fleur Delacour, and Victor Crumb. Since they were the 3 champions from the 3 different schools that we heard about in the series.
The legit champions.
Yes, the legit champions. The champs that weren't Harry Potter, is basically what I said.
Yeah.
And Mel, you married Cedric, killed Fleur, and fucked Crumb.
Yep.
And go ahead.
I think I'll change that now.
Really?
Yeah. I would think I'd actually marry Crumb, fuck Cedric, kill Fleur.
I see. Okay. Well, mine was kill Cedric, fuck Fleur, and marry Crumb.
Weren't you like, Cedric's already dead anyway or something?
Yep, he died anyway, it's fine.
Heartless woman.
Yeah, that happens. Oh well. So, we moved on to do Where Are They Now?, where we discussed a bunch of people that we didn't really get any follow-up information on, and kind of talked about what they would go on to do. We talked about Dean and Seamus, we talked about Lee Jordan, we talked about Pansy Parkinson, I believe. Talked about a whole bunch of different people.
Yeah, we just pretty much said anybody who we didn't know what happened to them.
And we decided. We also talked about how Ernie Macmillan would become Minister of Magic. Do you remember that? That was where we started with the whole thing. I was like, I want to do something about Ernie Macmillan being Minister of Magic, and you were like, well, we could do Where Are They Now?, where we talk about a whole bunch of different people.
Yeah.
That's where that came from.
Yeah, because there was no way we could do a whole episode on Ernie Macmillan.
Oh, I'm sure I could have, but I didn't get the chance.
Really? Okay, season 3, I'll let you try.
Oh, please don't do that. I'll just go through and read every quote by Ernie Macmillan and then talk extensively about them. We'll see how that goes. our random ship for that episode, it had to be one of the people that we talked about, and we picked Lee Jordan and Cho Chang.
Yep. Did they work out? I think they did.
They did. They sailed into the sunset with lots of babies, and Cho was working as a PR person for the Holyhead Harpies, and Lee Jordan was a professional Quidditch announcer.
Awesome. I'm very satisfied with that result.
Mm-hmm. Very
good. If I may say myself.
If you do say so yourself. You're allowed.
Yeah.
We moved on to talk about Azkaban. Always a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about Azkaban and the people that were there and the people that escaped and the people that died there and how it's a terrible, terrible place and why did they decide to use it.
Yeah, it's not going to fix crime. It's really a death sentence. Like, I still don't see how someone can just go and spend 6 months in Azkaban. It's like you're killing them.
Yeah. You're basically like, hey, let's take your soul out of your body. Cool? Cool.
Well, not take you, but like make you live in utter despair for 6 months.
Yeah, because they said,
no reform.
Yeah, they said that even if the Dementors weren't there, that the walls of the place were soaked in misery. It's like, well, that's terrible.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like a great way to reform society's most in need people, you could argue, with a lot of crimes.
Exactly, and we talked about how after the people that get out of there that aren't there forever, they don't really have anybody to really talk to because there's no mental health help.
Yeah, look, we linked it back.
Yeah, you can't rehabilitate people if you're going to send them to a place like Azkaban.
Exactly. They're doomed.
Yep. Just not gonna work out for everybody. But we did talk briefly about how after the second Wizarding War that they did get rid of all the Dementors there and staffed it with wizards. So that's at least better than what they had. They still don't have mental health help or rehabilitation that we know of, but at least it's better than it was.
Yeah. I think they should close the Azkaban facility and create a new one. Like, I get why you don't want wizards somewhere they can easily escape.
Yeah.
But surely you could create your own island with your magic or something. And, you not use one that's full of misery and despair seeping from the walls. Because I don't think that just went away.
I mean, you'd think, but can you scrub that out? Can you scrub misery and despair out of the walls? I'm not sure that that's a thing.
There's a lot of elbow grease.
And our random ship had to be people that had been in Azkaban or had gone to visit Azkaban, and we pulled out Dumbles and Sirius.
Hello?
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 Hello, I can hear you. Can you not hear me?
Oh, we're back. People who have been in Azkaban?
Yeah, people that have been in Azkaban or people that have visited Azkaban. Are you there? Hello, Mel? Hello, hello? 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 Hello?
Oh, you're back.
Okay.
Hey, sorry. I don't know what's going on. My internet's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, you broke up really badly and I couldn't hear you anymore.
Okay. Well,
yes, but our random ships were people.
Can you...
Yeah?
Are you there, Mel?
I can hear you. People who have been in Azkaban.
Hello? Can you hear me? Hello?
I can hear you.
Okay, I'm just trying to make sure because I don't know what's going on with this.
Are we out of sync?
I think we are out of sync.
Oh, no, we're good. You just responded really quickly.
Oh. Okay.
Sorry, everybody.
I'll have to edit that. Anyway, people that have been in Azkaban or people that have visited Azkaban.
Yeah.
And we pulled out Albus Dumbledore and Sirius Black.
I can't imagine I let that sail.
No, it sunk. You sunk it real quick. I think so.
Yep.
Because it's the whole teacher-student thing again. We're not really into that.
Nope.
And so we moved on to talk about the best mom ever, Molly Weasley.
Molly Weasley.
Yeah. We just talked about how she's basically the best, and how she kind of took this kid that she didn't even know and was like, hey, I'm gonna mother you.
Have you read the, someone wrote a thing, it's on Tumblr, where Molly had spotted Harry, and she thought, if I approach him, he'll get scared.
Yes.
And it's this thing of her walking up and down.
Like
King's
50
Cross,
times.
and her poor kid's following her going, Mum, what's going on?
Yeah.
And she's like, what platform is it, dears? And they'll be like, 9 3/4. And then Harry doesn't respond.
Every year, filled with muggles. I have to scream this so this kid will pay attention.
Yeah, I thought that was great.
Yeah, I have seen that one, so I definitely understand where you're coming from. I do like that one a lot. But yeah, we just talked about how she's basically the best person ever.
Yeah. Yep, still is. Nothing's changed.
Yeah, she's still rocking it as Grandma Weasley.
Oh, Grandma Weasley. Grandma and Grandpa Weasley.
Oh, yeah.
Those grandkids, like, have the best life.
Of course. Always.
Because, she would just spoil them. She would never be like how she was with her own kids.
Oh, no. She'd just be like,
It'll be like her and Harry.
Yeah, pretty much, with all of her grandkids. And also, she doesn't have to, they're not technically hers, she can just send them home to their parents at the end of the day.
Exactly.
And
that's like the best part of being a non-parent with kids.
That's what I've heard. We had a Mary Fuck Kill for that episode, and we had Molly Weasley, Flora Weasley, and Hermione Granger Weasley, because we're not sure what she really did with her last name.
Yeah.
And Mel, you fucked Molly, killed Fleur, and married Hermione.
There's a theme with me and Fleur going on.
Yeah, you don't like her, for whatever reason.
I do, I just like the other people better.
Understood.
When we pair her with.
And mine was marry Molly, fuck Fleur, and kill Hermione, which I don't normally do. And we're back, guys. So sorry, there were some technical difficulties. Skype isn't liking us today for some reason. So, we finished talking about Molly Weasley, and moving on to, we had a mailbag episode where we read all of your fantastic emails. We had emails from Tanya, Libby, Cassandra, Lauren, and Masha. And
a very special email from Marissa.
Yeah, that was read
back in the day.
Without my consent. Well, we had Cassandra that had written ages and ages ago that they wanted to talk about what if Snape and Lily had been together instead of James and Lily. We talked about that. We had Tanya talking about another entertainment in the Wizarding World thing. We had
she was the one who came up with the magic shows, which I still think is a brilliant idea that I want to steal as my own.
And Libby wrote in about Oliver Wood and Quidditch, about how we didn't really get how he was touted as this great Quidditch player, and then he was on the reserve team for Puddlemere United. So we talked a little bit about that. We talked about Lauren wrote in about the new then new Crimes of Grindelwald trailer, and discussed a couple things from that. And then Masha had a great Where Are They Now edition of Stan Shunpike and what he would have done after that.
Yeah, he did not have a good run of things.
No, but she had a really good what he would do after everything kind of culminated into the end of the books. And we didn't have a random ship for that episode since we just did what we got for mail. So.
Yeah.
The next episode was about the core subjects at Hogwarts. Defense against the dark arts, charms, transfiguration, potions.
Not maths.
No, not maths. Herbology, and is that it? I think so.
I think so.
Yeah. So we talked about the people that teach them, and...
Wait, did you say astronomy?
Oh, no, I didn't. Thank you. Astronomy. I always forget that one.
Everyone forgets that one. It's kind of just, vaguely mentioned every so often.
It's like, oh, by the way, they go and look at the stars sometimes. Okay, bye.
Yep. And there's one time when they were looking at the stars, Hagrid and McGonagall were attacked by Umbridge. Bye.
Yeah, like 4 stunners to the chest for McGonagall. Yeah. Yeah, we talked about the subjects and which subjects we would like to, we would be most excited to study. Yeah. All that. Yeah. There was something about, the astrological signs and what would be your favorite subject based on that, which we didn't really care for too much.
No, that was weird. And I don't care for those things to begin with in any reality. Yeah, it makes sense. And our random ship was Flitwick and McGonagall. Did we sail that? I feel like we sailed that.
Yes, but you said, can it sail away quickly so I don't have to look at it?
Hey, they're old people.
That sounds like you. Yeah, so you're like, you wanted to sink it, I wanted it to sail, and so you said, well, let it sail quickly in a very fast boat so I don't have to see what happens. So, it was all good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we moved on in the next 2 episodes to discuss the Sacred 28. We were going to do it all in one episode, and then it had to be split because it was way too long.
Yeah. There's a lot to talk about with them. I was surprised, like, how long that got.
Yeah, we did a lot of entomology. There was a bunch of that. Talked a lot about the Black family and how they're related to everybody else on the Sacred 28.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a few good things to talk about with that, so it turned into a good discussion. But we did, parts 1 and 2, because we split it in the middle, because it did go alphabetically. In the first episode, we had Bellatrix and Augusta Longbottom, and we sunk that because it was icky and disgusting. And
so icky.
And in episode 2, we had Lucius Malfoy and Garrick Ollivander, which we also sunk because it was also icky.
Mm-hmm. I'm agreeing with those decisions.
Yep, we nailed it. And the next episode we did was Death of the Author, which I thought was pretty interesting. We had never really talked about a theory that really has to do with a series that we like a bunch. And we are going to read Masha's email now, because she did write in about Death of the Author.
Yep.
Yeah, so she said, Dear Mel and Marissa, since I had pretty much the same problem with the Death of the Author concept that Mel described as, quote, it's right and it's wrong, end quote, I took some time to think about it. The first thing that put me off was the inherent dogma, quote, that's the only way you treat a book, the author's opinion and background are irrelevant, unquote. No, not necessarily. Barth certainly is right on many points, and yes, when you put a novel out there, it's up to the readers how they interpret it and if they take your additional information into account. But there are books that absolutely rely on subtext. Barth's failed to take into consideration that free speech isn't a given, and that there were and are countries where texts are censored. A while back, I did some research on literature and lyrics in the German Democratic Republic. Many authors avoided censorship by wrapping criticism into harmless images. Without the context, you actually miss the message of the book. For example, there's a pop song about a guy who longs to meet the girl that lives wall to wall with him. He can hear her voice but never gets to meet her because they never leave the house. A somewhat silly love song, but in the GDR in 1987, everyone understood that the song was referring to the Berlin Wall. Only because it's never directly named, the lyrics went uncensored. I never knew that, and that's very cool. I want to know what the name of that song is, actually. If you ignore the author's intent, you make the statement that your right to free imagination and creativity is more important than the fact that the author had to rely on subtext because he wasn't in a situation to say, hey folks, the Berlin Wall sucks, I want to be able to meet people in the West. So that's a major flaw in the concept, in my opinion. Finally, I'd like to say good stories work just fine without background knowledge and additions, but occasionally I like to get to know the people who write the books I love. Sometimes I find stuff that is interesting in context to the work, and honestly, some additions by J.K. destroys someone's imagination. In that particular community that has so much creative output, there are different ways to make a pineapple tap dance. J.K. shows us one way, and the Potterheads figure out other ways. I'm pretty much okay with this.
Yep.
So basically, she can tell us that, hey, it works this way, and we can say, we think it works this way, and both are right. Pretty much. That's what we think.
Yep.
Yep. So, thank you so much for that email, Masha. It's very well thought out, and it did add to the discussion that
definitely
there are sometimes hidden meanings in things. So I definitely understand that.
It can't just be disregarded because, that's my opinion kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It's like, that's nice, but your opinion's kind of wrong.
Understood. And so for that episode, we had a Marry, Fuck, Kill of the Golden Trio, Harry, Ron, and Hermione. And Mel, you fucked Harry, killed Ron, and married Hermione.
Yeah, stand by that.
Yep.
Hermione would make a good wifey.
And I killed Harry, married Ron, and fucked Hermione.
Yeah.
Yep.
You just wanted her for her intellect.
Well, I was going to do the same as you, but then I wanted to make it different, so I had to redo it. So next we talked about Horcruxes. And you made me very uncomfortable in this episode.
That's what I live for.
Yeah, because we talked about, sorry, I accidentally almost broke something. Yeah, so we talked about Horcruxes and how, it's fun to have things that you put your soul into, I guess.
Maybe.
We talked about what we'd use as Horcruxes, which we had talked about previously, but we had to pick something different. And we basically just talked about the concept of Horcruxes, and there are some things we still don't understand about it, which is a lot of the things in the Harry Potter world that we don't completely get fleshed out. So
we determined putting it inside either of my cats would be awful.
Be a bad
making either of them a Horcrux.
Mm-hmm. Because Zara's evil, and then Jemmy is, too pampered or something?
Too precious. Too precious for this world.
Gotcha. And we had to do
Zara's here right now that I said her name. She came over like, hello, yes, that's me.
That is me. I did it. And we did have a Marry, Fuck, Kill for this episode as well. And there was kind of an issue with this one. We had to do Horcruxes because Mel's a sadist. And I was able to pick them. We ended up going with Nagini, the ring, and the cup. But I originally said the diadem and then used the cup anyway, for whatever reason. And I listened to it and I was like, I don't remember saying the diadem at all. I meant to say the cup, but that's not what I said. And both of us didn't even say anything about it. We just played past it. So
there you go.
Yeah, so Mel, you married Nagini, killed the ring, and fucked the cup. I don't want to know how that works.
Let's not talk about it.
Yeah, we don't talk about it. Well, because you said you told me if you use Nagini as the fuck, then we're going to have problems, and I'm done with this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I stand by.
I killed Nagini, fucked the ring, and married the cup, because I like to drink things out of cups. That was what came down
That's all the justification.
Yeah, and I don't like snakes. So that's what made the decision for me. We went on to talk about censorship, which Masha kind of touched on in her Death of the Author email, actually. And we just talked about how the Harry Potter books have been censored in our world, and that there was also censorship.
Just quickly, can you hear Zara? She is sitting on top of my TV meowing at me.
Oh. No.
No, she's quiet. That's good.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought she was loud, but clearly she's too far away to be picked up by this microphone.
Or maybe I was just talking too loud and I just couldn't hear her over my own talking.
That's all right.
But we talked about how the books are censored, especially over here in the U.S. We talked about how some school districts have banned the books completely. And then we talked about how people were censored in the books themselves.
Yeah, I thought that was a really fun topic, especially actually talking about it in our world.
Yeah, for sure. And we had another Marry, Fuck, Kill, because I apparently like those a lot. And
yes, you do.
Yeah, we did people that were known to censor other people. And we had Fudge, Voldy, and Umbridge.
That would have been painful. Didn't I say, like, I would have sex with Voldemort, but it'll be young Voldemort? Put
it would be Tom Riddle.
In for myself.
Yep, it would be Tom Riddle Voldemort. So you married Fudge, fucked Voldy, and killed Umbridge.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. I went a different route.
Yeah. Fudge is actually a good choice for a husband, a marriage of convenience, and you guys just live your own lives.
Yeah, pretty much. And I went with also marrying Fudge, and I killed Voldy, and I fucked Umbridge so that I could, have blackmail.
Yeah.
I'm always looking for the upper hand.
Still can't say I'm in total agreement with you on it.
Yeah, I know. You don't have to be. It's my life.
I'm just like, it's anti-fandomness to have sex with Umbridge.
Yeah, I know. But what can you do? So, we moved on in the next episode.
Power hungry.
Yeah, I am. We moved on the next episode to talk about your house, Gryffindor.
Yes.
You talking about
Gryffindor.
how awesome they are and blah blah blah, and I just think you're all foolhardy.
House protagonist.
Yep. Hashtag house protagonist. Yeah, we basically talked about, Gryffindor and what they stand for, and we had a lot to talk about because a lot of the people in the books that we associate with are Gryffindors.
Yeah, funny that.
There's even this one guy. His name's Harry Potter, I think. I don't really know.
Oh, yeah. I think he's, vaguely important in, the end of the 7th book.
I mean, maybe. Oh well, who cares? So, we did a random ship, and it had to be a Gryffindor. And we had McGonagall and Cormac McLagan. Or McCormick Johnson, depending on how you say his name.
And he pops his collar, we decided.
Yep.
He seems like the type.
That's so good. That is so good. Yeah, and he does seem the type. And you decided that one sinks. Because you decided that Cormac's not the smartest guy in the world. And so he has detention with McGonagall, and he goes, I'm gonna go in there and talk her up because she's a lonely old lady, and it'll be all good. And then he's spitting some game, and then realizes he's a frog. Because McGonagall doesn't trifle with such nonsense.
Exactly. She's too much of a bamf.
Yep, so it sunk. Sunk hard.
As it should.
Yep. And last episode, we talked about Death Eaters.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes, the cult followers.
Uh-huh. We did talk about how they were kind of like a cult, and we did briefly talk about the people that turned against the Death Eaters at the end there. Either the end of their life or the end of the war.
And what would have led them to that?
Mm-hmm.
Still can't quite figure out, Regulus.
Yeah, I can't either. It's still going to be forever a question that I have, unless we get a story. I would love a story. So JK, if you could just do that real quick, I'd be really appreciative.
Yeah, I think a lot of people want the answer of exactly what made him.
How out that it was a Horcrux? Why would that be the thing your mind goes to? I don't know.
And what made him think that's the line that I'm not going to cross?
Yeah, why is that I cannot go farther than this. Why is that? But we had to do a random ship of just Death Eaters, and we both picked Lucius Malfoy.
Lucius Malfoy believes in self-love.
He loves himself, and that's okay with us, I guess.
Yeah, we should practice self-love.
Yes, always. I was worried for a second then when we were talking about the ministry that we both pick Umbridge, and I can't do self-love in that instance.
No.
But yeah, Lucius Malfoy, he's all about himself, and so it's fine.
Yep.
It's all good. So that was
our season.
That was our season. It was very exciting.
Our first season together.
Yeah, aw, heart. Yeah, I did like doing this. I know I mentioned in the mailbag episode, but this podcast has really helped me because I had a lot of stuff going on in my life when it started, and it kind of either distracted me or just kind of helped me have a creative outlet. So I do thank you, Mel, for taking a chance and letting me be part of this.
Taking a chance. It was just like, oh, I need a new co-host. And then you're like, oh, I would like to host a podcast. Good enough.
Done and done.
Easy done.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking, actually, so immediately we're recording this ahead, but on the 2nd of June it will be, I was guesting on another podcast called Give Me the Remote, run by my amazing friends John and Sheridan.
Woo!
Yeah, so I guested on that and I reviewed a few TV shows with them. They do a review show. Well, it's TV and movies. Anything you can stream is the parameters of their show. So, yeah.
I'll go and subscribe to that. I looked it up earlier just to see, and I think I'll download that and give it a listen.
They put the microphone, they turned it towards me, and everybody should know I'm quite loud.
What?
So there's my voice really loud, there's John's voice really loud, then Sheridan's really quiet.
Oh.
She doesn't.
Did you give them a recommendation of a leveler that they can use?
Well, they use a whole different method of recording and everything.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I'll probably just mention it to John when I talk to him next and just say, hey, do you want to give this a go? It's free, and it might just... Because their other episodes are fine, it was just the one that had me in it.
Oh, of course, Mel screwing everything up.
Well, they should have put me on the dead end of the remote, because I project.
Yeah,
not the remote,
probably.
the microphone.
It's about a remote. They use a microphone.
Yeah, exactly.
So I will go give that a listen. It's very cool that you're being shepherded to other pods.
Yeah, they told me I can come back and guest any time, so...
Fancy. Yeah, but... Yeah, next season we have some topics in the works. We're going to discuss the actual best house in Harry Potter. Ravenclaw. It's actually the best house. It's actually what that is. We're going to talk Quidditch. We're going to
House nerd, you mean?
Yes. Hashtag house nerd. It has Luna Lovegood. How can it be bad? We're going to talk, like I said, Quidditch. We're going to talk Tales of Beedle the Bard, I believe. We're going to talk maybe some Fantastic Beasts. Depending on how long our season goes for, we might discuss seeing the new movie, depending on when we start the podcast up again.
I think even let's say that we had finished the season or whatever.
We'll do a random.
We could do a special. Could do a special for, since you're going to be with me for it.
Woo!
We're actually going to be in the same cinema.
Yay!
Watching it.
Right next to each other.
So exciting!
Yeah.
And there's so many cinemas to pick from here. We can pick one with recliners or one that's more fancy with wine.
Ooh.
Lots and lots of wine.
Oh, yeah. Mel knows all about the wine.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, and we are going to have at least 2 guests next season.
Yes.
We want to do a sorting of current and maybe some past WWE superstars from wrestling. So we're going to have Josh from the podcast Tales from Godric's Hollow, which they are just wrapping up the last book in the series. And we also want to have Kevin, our co-host on the Triple Threat Cast, on as well.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that one.
Yes.
That's going to be so much fun.
That is going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, I think that's all we got for the people. Don't you think, Mel?
Yep. I think we've covered it pretty well.
Yeah. So if the lovely people want to get in touch with us, we are part of the MM Podcast Network, so we are going to transition away from using our Witch Weekly podcast email and Twitter and Facebook and all of that within the next few weeks. Probably by the time we start season 3, we'll be fully transitioned away from using all of those.
Yeah, I will, because we've got our old podcasts out, I will still monitor it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Maybe if you send an email there, you have to wait extra time or something.
Yeah, just a little bit. Be a little bit of a delay. So if you want to get in touch with us, you can go to our website, mmpodcastnetwork.com, where you can check out our other 2 podcasts, Chosen, which is about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which I am watching for the first time, and Triple Threat Cast, where Mel and myself are going through the Attitude Era of WWF/WWE for the first time, along with our friend Kevin, who has watched most of the stuff before. You can leave a comment through there, which will come to our email. If you just want to email us directly, you can do so at mmpodcastnetwork@gmail.com. We have a Facebook, MM Podcast Network. We have a Twitter at MMP Network. And if you want to reach out to me directly, you can do so at Rissaru312. And Mel, what about you?
People can find me on the Twitter at M_A_Bickett.
Awesome. So that is all for Season 2. Thank you for going along on this ride with us. We really appreciate it. If you could drop us a rating and review on iTunes, we would be appreciative of that as well. And just remember, guys, happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if one only remembers to tune in to Witch Weekly.